All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Everybody Online. I'm your instructor for Plano Parks and Recreation, Skyla Ramirez. Let's begin either seated or lying down on your back. If you know that you might prefer having a pillow, a blanket, or some other props to keep you comfortable, feel free to incorporate that into the practice at any time. If you think you'd rather remain seated, but you notice some pressure in your back or spine, maybe try sitting up on a pillow, a yoga bolster, or even a rolled up yoga mat or blanket, and that could actually take a little bit of pressure out of your back. So let's take the first couple of minutes and get comfortable in our bodies. From wherever you are, take a moment to notice a heaviness in the hips, especially around the low back and the sacrum. Whether you're lying down or seated, you might want to shift a little bit left and right. You could even tilt the tailbone forward and back a little bit and just sort of let the body seek out that place where you may have the most comfort, letting go of the idea of complete ease or complete relaxation with the body. It's very common to have a little bit of maybe chitter chatter from the body. So there might be some places that feel a little tender. Maybe there are some places that we can relate to that have had some past injuries, and maybe those places are healing today. So instead of trying to balance the weight in the body, take a moment to center the way that you feel about where you are right now. Move your body and shift your weight in such a way that you know that you are moving towards comfort, providing your body with the greatest sense of ease possible in this moment, knowing that that could change at any time. So at any time you want to shift or move around, feel free to do so. If you're lying down on your back, maybe put the hands on your belly. From seated, we might want to keep a hand up on the heart. Let's become aware of the breath low in the body and let it build up into your chest. We're feeling the lungs from the belly through the ribs to the heart. And then exhale, relax the heart down to the ribs and down to the belly. Let's give ourselves time to process the sensations that might accompany the breath. It could be the sense of the physical body filling and emptying. It could be a sense of feeling from an emotional perspective. As we inhale, is there any emotion that is with us today? Do we come into the practice with a sense of peace and ease, joy, gratitude, sadness, grief, anger, irritability, impatience? Letting go of judgment as to any of these sensations being good or bad, simply practicing through the art of observation, becoming aware of what you feel, of what you are sensing, either physically or emotionally. Practicing feeling without judgment, letting go of judgment, expectation, and competition through the practice. If we notice any thoughts, any ideas, or any feelings that creep up, and maybe we start to judge, just give yourself permission to let it go and know that it is human for those thoughts to come in. It is our human nature to judge. It is our human nature to maybe have an expectation. Notice it and let it go. This is the practice of yoga, managing the thoughts, managing the sensations. The thoughts and the sensations will never disappear. So the practice of yoga is manage the thoughts, manage the sensations. Breathe into the belly, up through the ribs, up to the heart. Exhale, heart, ribs, belly. And now maybe let's practice breathing in an emotion. Breathe in a feeling of grace. What is it to feel grace for the body? Inhale. And then exhale out compassion. So notice as you inhale grace, what is it to give grace to one's self? Give grace to the ego. Give grace to the parts of us that maybe we resist or judge. Give grace to the whole being of self. And then exhale compassion. The more grace we can give to ourselves, the more compassion that will emanate out from us into the world. And even just for a moment, what is it? Identify with that feeling. What is it to be the embodiment of grace and compassion? Notice how that might even change the breath. What is a graceful breath? As you inhale, notice if the breath naturally smooths itself out. And as you exhale compassion, notice this gentle rippling wave of energy that moves out from your body. So grace and compassion produce frequencies that are calm, lulling, healing energies to the body. Notice the expression on your face when you are the embodiment of grace and compassion. Soften around your eyes. If there's any tension, maybe there's resistance. So soften the eyes, soften your cheeks, relax your jaw, maybe even stick your tongue out for a minute, like lion's breath. If there's any resistance in this opening practice, maybe simply affirm to yourself, I am open and willing to experience what it feels like to be the embodiment of grace and compassion. I am open and willing to experience what it feels like to be the embodiment of grace and compassion. Let's breathe with this sensory integration of emotion and body for just another quiet minute. Breathe in grace, breathe out compassion. We can continue to embrace stillness with the breath. If your body feels ready to move a little bit, let's begin by lowering the hands down beside us with the palms facing forward or up. And we'll gently sweep the arms overhead, whether you're seated or lying on your back, allowing the arms to rise up, biceps by the ears. Maybe rock your head left and right a little bit. Stretching just a little bit through the neck and the head. Let the head shake left and right. Let it come forward as if you're saying yes. Exhale, lower the arms down. Stretch from the armpits so the movement initiates from the shoulders. Inhale, sweeping up, palms up, reaching overhead. Act like you're climbing a rope just for a moment. So there's a little more reach from the left and a little more from the right to move that energy up and out of the armpits. When you're ready, find your breath and exhale, sweep the arms down. Let's try this just a few more times. And again, you might just be still right now. Movement with the body is completely optional through the entire practice. The foundation of an entire yoga practice is the breath. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale down. Maybe just a couple more. tuning in to our own unique breath, matching movement to breath. Every inhale, every exhale has an intention with it, an intention to embrace stillness or to move in a specific way. Let's do maybe one more flying with the arms. Easy does it. If you're lying on your back, take a moment and let your knees sway a little bit. Notice if it feels more comfortable to roll to the left or to roll to the right. And take a moment, maybe roll over and just lie down on one side for 3 to 5 breaths. As you lie on your side, breathe into your low back. From seated, we're doing the same breath. Breathing down into the low back, through the middle back, and then up to the space between the shoulder blades, under the shoulder blades. Exhale, relax the back of the heart space, the side ribs, and the low back and hips. Let's allow the breath to roll through the backs of the lungs along the sides of the spine at least 1 or 2 more times. When it feels right for you, from lying on your side, use your top arm to slowly press up. And let's all come around into seated with our knees bent and our legs in front of us. You're free to turn any direction that is going to be comfortable for you to be able to watch instruction. Let's take our feet and knees out to the width of the hips, or maybe even wider. Bring the hands underneath the knees or on the outside, underside of the thighs for seated cat and cow. From here, we inhale forward, pull up through the heart and the ribs, look up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, pull the belly button in, round the spine and shoulders, and drop the chin. Inhale, coming forward into seated cow. You might be rocking on the hips and the tailbone. Exhale, or we might be isolating that movement in the belly, keeping the hips still. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Once we have the rhythm down with the body and we feel comfortable with matching the inhale to cow, exhale to cat, let's shape the breath a little more. Inhale through the nose as you come forward into cow. And then exhale with a ha breath, making that audible. Ha. A few more. Inhale forward. Allow your body to vocalize. Exhale. Couple more. Ha. Last one. Ha breath. Push the air out. Let's come to center. From here, extend the legs out as far as they want to go. If you're noticing any pain in your low back, if you've ever had maybe a diagnosis of sciatica or lumbar compression, that's low back pressing, you could always use a big blanket, a pillow, or even a yoga mat under your knees to keep a gentle bend in the legs. From here, let's inhale the arms up overhead, reaching towards the sky. Flex through the feet, activate the toes, web out the toes, make space here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold, hands coming down to the thighs or to the shins. As you inhale, moving into that cow expression, lifting through the ribs and the heart, maybe straightening the arms and looking up. Exhale, let's pull the hands back. You could even cup them on top of the knees and then round the spine and drop the head. Inhale, coming forward, lifting the head, opening the throat, straightening the arms, looking to the sky. Exhale, pull the hands back, round the body. Just a few more like this, massaging the spine gently. Maybe practice that ha expression. And it may be a whisper of a ha. It could be a little stronger and more audible. It could be like fogging a mirror. Let's do a couple more. Practice your expression of an exhale, your expression of ha breath. When you're ready, find any tall seated expression. Let's swing our feet around to one side. We might want to use a prop under the hands or even under the knees if we're noticing that the floor feels a little aggressive on the joints. Put something under your knees or even under your wrist. Let's see that we have alignment from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist. And as we bend the elbows just a little bit, if the elbows go out to the side, pull them in. So this is what it looks like from the front. If the elbows go out to the side like a push-up, pull the elbows back so that the elbows are facing your thighs and knees. From here, let's drop the belly, inhale into cow, and then pull through the navel center, exhale into cat. So we're initiating from the stomach, each inhale, each inhale. Each exhale, round the body. Each inhale, lengthen the body. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Just one more set. Let's find all fours. From here, let the hips press back. Come down to the elbows. Maybe lace the fingers together. Push the hips back and feel that you're opening under the armpits in this expression of child's pose. Let's relax our head and neck. If the head wants a little bit more support, we could always make fist with the hands, and you'll stack the fist, putting the center of the head on the hands. And this is used to prop up the head and the neck. Let's just breathe along the sides of the spine. One more easy breath along the sides of the spine. When you're ready, take your time to slowly shift forward. From here, we're stepping one foot forward at a time. And if you have a prop or props anywhere around you, just taking extra caution, extra awareness to clear those props. Coming up eventually into standing, we'll take any props just off to the side and then slowly take your time to come all the way up into standing. Let's establish a strong mountain expression with the body. Taking our feet out to about the width of the pelvis bones, or maybe a little wider, maybe out to the fleshy hip. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, taking the arms back, maybe just 3 or 4 more like this, giving the body time to interpret the sensations of standing, the earth rising up to meet us in the feet. One more exhale. Inhale, let's take both arms up overhead, reach. Option to lift the heels, just enough to slide a credit card under the feet. Maybe pull up from the armpits and look up. Dropping the heels, exhale, sweep the hands back and sit back into chair. Little chair flow. Inhale, arms go back, up and overhead. Option to get a little lift in the heels. Exhale, drop the heels and sit back into chair. Every inhale, sweeping and lifting. Every exhale, lowering down, grounding the energy through the soles of the feet. Inhale at the top of the breath, pull up through your pelvic floor, just like a little bit of a Kegel or a urethral squeeze. Pull up through the pelvis. Keep that contraction as you exhale. Release the pelvis muscles. Inhale, lift up. Top of the breath, pull up or act surprised. Exhale slowly. Keep that contraction in the pelvis. Maybe 3 more like this. Inhale, pelvis and hips are relaxed. Little surprise. Keep the pelvis engaged. Exhale. Relax the pelvic floor. Inhale. Lift the heels, lift through the hips, lift through the pelvis. Exhale. Let's do just 1 more. Exhale either with that ha breath or maybe like you're blowing out candles. Inhale, surprise. Blowing out candles. Inhale, relax the pelvis, reach the arms overhead. Let's step the feet together as we continue to warm the body. Exhale, take your left hand onto the right thigh and then the right hand to the hip. And we're slowly sinking the hips back and allowing our body to twist gently to the right. Reach out with your left hand. Inhale, sweep it towards the sky, up with the right hand. Exhale to the other side, right hand on the left thigh, left hand on the hip. Slowly sinking down into this twisting chair. You can look over your left shoulder towards the direction of your heart or even down at your toes. Let's reach out with the right hand, release the left hand. Inhale, it's like a big sunrise movement. And then twist to the other side, sunset with the arms, sinking the hips back. Inhale, sunrise. Exhale, sunset. Inhale, reaching up and over. Allow your arms to reach out through all these different planes of awareness. So reaching back behind you, reaching in front of you, reaching overhead and below. Move the arms dynamically like a windmill or like a helicopter. Just notice intuitively, where do the arms want to go as you move with the breath? Breath first. Movement inspired by the breath. A really popular saying in our practice is inspiration from inhalation. Inhale, inhalation, inspiration, exhale. Let's do 1 more on each side. Absolutely no rush. When you feel that this is evened up for your body on left and right, let's simply come into standing and we'll be able to hold mountain pose and breathe easy for 3 to 5 breaths. Standing tall. Notice the foundation in the feet for mountain. We may want to step the feet out a little bit. The quickest way to improve posture is to turn the palms forward, shoulders rolling down and back. Keeping the chin down enough so an egg could roll off the head and lengthening up through the spine. When you're ready, let's step the left foot back a short stride, bending our right knee. Inhale the arms overhead, big breath in, holding warrior 1. Virabhadrasana Eka. Pressing down and back through the left heel. Feel an energy pulling up behind the left knee. Pulling up from the right armpit. Exhale, swan dive the hands onto the right thigh. Trying a little bit of cat and cow here. As we inhale, push the hips back, straightening the arms, opening the throat. Exhale, bending the elbows round the spine and pull the tailbone under. Inhaling, relaxing the belly, straightening the arms, maybe even looking up. Exhaling, bending the elbows, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone. Maybe just 2 or 3 more like this. Inhale, arms straighten out, tailbone is flipping back, flat back exaggerated, just like cow pose. Exhale, bend the elbows, round the spine. Maybe just 1 more. When you're ready, let's find a flat back. Reverse swan dive, rising up to warrior 1. When you're ready, turn the left heel in, open to the long edge of your mat for warrior 2 pose. From warrior 2, let's turn the right palm up. Rest the left hand on your hip. Reach straight up with the right hand, reverse warrior. We can look back and over the left shoulder. Breathing mostly into the upper right lung. One more big inhale. Exhaling, side angle, taking the right hand or elbow onto the top of the right thigh. Let your hip release, unhinge, or push back. Let's take that left arm up and overhead. Maybe even reach the arm over your ear. It is traditional to look up, but we could always look forward or down towards the right foot. Let's inhale into the underside of the left armpit and lung, flaring out the ribs in this space. If there's any pain in your shoulder or neck, maybe lower that left hand onto your hip. When you're ready, inhale, coming up, warrior 2. Exhale, windmilling down to the floor, big windmill. We might want to lift that back foot and push the heel back. Let's lower our left knee down to the floor, either coming down to the hands or maybe making fist with the thumbs forward. Let's sweep our right leg back, open it up, pressing up towards the sky. Inhale, look forward, just like cow pose. Exhale, point the toe. And just like cat pose, roll that knee in towards the chest. Sunbird flow. Inhale, press back, push up through the foot. Exhale, draw the knee in, pointed toe and round. Inhale, sweep it back and open. Exhale, come in, contract. 1 more. Inhale, sweep it back, open. Exhale, point and contract. When you're ready, relax both hands. Relax the elbows even, and let your body decide for itself if you'd like to reset in either down dog or child's pose. Let the body choose for you. One more easy breath. When you're ready, let's look between the hands. Stepping 1 foot forward at a time. Easy does it to meet in a forward fold. Seeing the feet at about hips width. Let's draw the hands to the shins or the thighs for support. When you're ready, reverse swan dive. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, sweep them back. 3 more breaths, resetting the body. Before we do this sequence on the other side, create that foundation through the feet, that sense of being completely supported by the earth. Let's allow the hands to reach down, palms forward, this time stepping the right foot back a short stride. Bending through that left knee, inhale, arms overhead, traditional warrior one. Pressing down and back through the right heel, feeling an energy pull up through the back of the right knee. Maybe even feeling as if we can pull the right kneecap up while we reach dynamically through the fingertips. One more inhale. Exhale, swan dive, both hands down onto the left thigh. From here, we might want to slide the hands down to the shin, letting the body choose for us. As we inhale, drop the belly, push the hips back and look forward, straightening the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows, tuck the tailbone and round the spine. So basically it's cat and cow from your warrior one legs. Inhale, hips go back, looking forward, straighten the arms. And exhale, bend the elbows around the spine. Maybe 3 more like this. Inhaling to lengthen, stretching the belly and intestines. Exhale, rounding, squeezing, flushing out toxins from the belly. Move from the hips and the stomach simultaneously. So the hips go back and the belly drops all at once. Last time to contract, hips come forward, belly lifts. When you're ready, find a still point. Let's flatten through the back, keeping the right hand on your left thigh. Take the left hand to the hip and just gently twist towards the left. We can look over that left shoulder. We can look down in the direction of the heart or down at the floor. Let's come around to center. Inhale, bring both arms up overhead. Let's turn the right heel in and open into warrior two. Pressing back through the right foot and bending that left knee in traditional warrior two. Let's look past the left fingertips and steady our gaze. When you're ready, turn the left palm up. Take the right hand onto the hip. Let's reach straight up with that left hand and breathe mostly into the upper left lung. One more big inhale. Exhale to side angle pose, either hand or elbow onto the left thigh. Push back through your tailbone and hip. Imagine your tailbone is angling back towards the wall behind you or towards your back knee, your back foot. Let's take our right arm, sweep it up, just sort of testing out how we feel first. If there's any pain in the back or the neck right here, we may want to keep the hand low or even at the hips so that our neck and our shoulders, our spine is protected. We can always experiment with bringing that arm up like we're waving at somebody walking towards us, or turn the palm down so that you're reaching with the bicep over the ear. We can look up, ahead, or down at our left foot. Press into the outer blade of your right foot and breathe into that space underneath the right shoulder blade, underneath the right armpit. One more big breath here. When you're ready, slowly come up, returning to warrior two. Familiar place for the body. Feel the pose with a new breath. Observe it with a new perspective in this moment. When you're ready, exhale, windmilling down towards the floor, lifting through that back foot. We might want to lower that right knee. Coming down onto the palms of the hands or using fist instead, thumbs are forward. Let's sweep our left foot back with a flat foot, we're opening up and dropping the belly into sunbird flow. Pointing the toe, exhale and round. Maybe 3 or 4 more like this. Inhale, open, hinge from the belly. Point the toe, exhale, close. Matching movement with breath. Watch for the inhale, then move. Watch for the exhale, then contract. When you're ready, lower both knees. We may want to reset in child's pose, downward facing dog, or maybe down onto the elbows, lifting the knees into dolphin. When you're ready, let's all meet, lowering the knees, looking between the hands. Let's step forward 1 foot at a time. Standing forward fold. Let the hips sway a little bit left and right. When you're ready, come up about halfway, flattening the back, keeping that gentle swaying motion in the body so the body's able to kind of experiment with the sensations in the soles of the feet. When you're ready, come up to standing. Let the body and the trunk still sway a little bit. Let the arms sort of just move a little bit away from the body. Again, we're just allowing the arms to explore the space around us. Inspiration in the inhalation. Maybe start making that movement a little smaller. And eventually come to a still point. Maybe looking down and closing the eyes. So practicing balance is something that can be done simply by closing the eyes. And it could be closing the eyes standing, closing the eyes seated in a chair. We don't have to stand on one leg to create better balance in the body. As we stand and close the eyes, lower the head, notice if you feel pulled in any one direction. And take your time to counter that pull of sensation. So if you're pulled straight forward, shift your energy straight back. If you feel slightly pulled to the left corner of your mat, shift to the right back corner of the mat. At some point, let's open the eyes, bringing the hands to the heart. We may want to have a chair or use a wall or some other support today, as we may want to experiment with standing on one leg. So I am pressing my left hand into a wall, keeping my left leg on the floor, lifting my right knee. I'm opening that knee out to the side. And from here, you might put your right hand under your right knee or under your thigh. If you think you want to experiment with reaching on the inside of your leg and holding on to your big toe, you're welcome to do so. From here, with the leg open, I'm pointing my right toe and simply working on straightening that leg. You're welcome to lean into your support. If it's a chair, maybe push down into the seat. Whatever you might have as a support, just move with a lot of awareness, as chairs and other props might have a tipping point. So for this one, I do like the wall a little more. It's a little more sturdy of a support. At any time, we can practice taking the hand to the hip while the leg is extending. Staying for maybe 1 or 2 more breaths. Try a sigh of relief. When it feels right for you, slowly bend that knee. Let's lower that leg. Step onto both feet. And then take your time to position yourself. So now I'm standing on my right leg with my right hand by my means of support. Lifting the left knee, taking the left hand under the thigh or the knee, maybe left hand to the big toe as an option. Straightening the leg is completely optional. The essence of this pose is captured when we stand on one leg. That's it. Or shift your weight into one leg. When you're ready, straighten out the left leg, experimenting with that length through the leg. The more we straighten the leg, the more pressure it will put on the low back. So we're going to proceed with caution. Empty the breath from the body. Try a sigh. When you're ready, soften that extended left leg. Let's lower both feet to the floor. Step into both feet. Feel the earth supporting your body. Let's try 3 breaths, moving the arms in any way. Exhale, maybe with a sigh of relief, or maybe as if you're blowing out candles. When you're ready, let's take our time to make our way down to the floor. If you'd like to grab a sip of water at this time, go ahead and give yourself an opportunity to grab some water, maybe even run to the bathroom and come back. We did a lot of massaging of the kidneys in our class today, so sometimes that stimulates the bladder a little bit. We're moving into the final portion of our class, which is our deep stretching and final meditation and relaxation. Let's move into any easy seated position. I am seated on a pillow with legs crossed, but you can put your legs in any position you want, as the next few movements are going to focus on trunk rotation and a little more arm movement. Let's take our time first to establish our base, palms up. This is the quickest way to improve posture. It helps the shoulders to roll back and down, lengthening through the spine no matter where we are. Let's bow the head a little bit, feeling as if there's a softness in the back of the neck moving up to the base of the skull. Let's continue to quiet the body with a soft breath. When you're ready, we're taking this into a very gentle twist. And again, you can sit any way you want. Let's twist towards the right. Take the left hand in front of you, palm down, and take the right hand behind you, keeping the hand very close to the hip or the spine, pressing down into the floor. You could even lean back into that hand a little bit. Let's notice how it feels to move that rotation of energy from the belly through the heart, all the way through the neck and the head, maybe looking over your right shoulder. If there's any pain in any part of the spine, you can dissect this twist so that maybe you twist less through your shoulders, but more through the neck. Or maybe it's more through the shoulders and less through the head and neck. So feel free to check in with these different parts of the twist and add to or take away the effort to create more comfort. When it feels right for your body, bring it through center. Let's take our sweet time twisting over to the left, right hand coming across, left hand close to the hip and the body, pressing the palm down. We can lean back into that hand, straightening out the arm behind us without locking out. And again, dissect the twist. So notice how it feels just to create maybe a hinge from the stomach. And then how does it feel to create that rotation through if you glue your elbows in, rotate through your rib cage. And then last of all, shoulders. Following with the neck and head is optional. Stillness is optional. Let the body refine the expression of the pose at any time. So you might even want to just exhale, pause. And in that space, is there any part of the spine that is feeling tight? If that part of the spine is feeling tight, maybe we come out of the twist in that space. Maybe we hold it and we breathe through it. All of yoga is a practice. We call it a practice because we're experimenting the whole time. Again, letting go of any judgment, just watching, observing the sensations, and knowing that you always have an option. You always have choices to make to create more comfort in your practice. One more easy breath. Let's come around to center. From here, turning the palms up. Let's practice pressing the thumb to the index finger, making the OK sign. Relax the hands down, lengthen through the body. Take a moment and just press a little harder with the left thumb and left index finger. Now try to match that same pressure with your right thumb and right index finger. When you're ready, let that go. Let's touch the middle finger to the thumb on both hands. Press a little harder with the right middle finger. And now try to match it with your left middle finger and thumb. When you're ready, release that. Now the ring fingers. Ring finger to the thumb. A little more pressure with the left. Try to match the pressure with the right. This is a unique form of sensory training for left and right hemispheres of the brain. When you're ready, release that. Finally, pinky fingers, just the small finger. Press it in towards your thumb. It could be the tips or the padding. Press a little harder with one hand. Try to match that pressure with the other hand. So now we have the right side of the brain processing the sensations and the motion of pressing. And then we have the other side, the left side, processing the right side. Unification of left and right hemispheres of the brain. When you're ready, release that tension. Wiggle your fingers. Move the wrist around. From here, we're lying down on our backs. So please take your time. You might want to let the knees come up and roll to one side. Coming down into lying on our sides, we could have our pillow or blanket once more for comfort. Let's take a moment lying on the side, Allow the spine a little bit of time to reset. When it feels right for you, roll over onto your back. So this could be within 2 or 3 breaths. It could be that we stay lying on our sides for a full minute. There's no rush. Once we find ourselves lying on our back, let's draw our knees to the chest, bringing the hands behind the thighs. Let's rock just a little bit in this knees to chest expression. Coming to a still point, let's bring the hands on top of our knees and let the knees circle clockwise, really small to begin. Then feel that energy spiraling out. Start to spiral it in, still moving in a clockwise direction, making those circles a little smaller. Spiral that energy contracted in. Let's reverse that. So counterclockwise, tiny, tiny, spiral out just a little bigger. We're trying to do anywhere from 6 to 8 of these circles, spiraling the energy. The bigger the circle, the more the trunk of the body is going to join into that movement. Now start to make the movement a little smaller so that that energy that is spiraling draws into a very contracted state, eventually moving towards stillness. From this still point, take the hands to the sides of the legs. Stretch the legs overhead, Viparita Karani. Let's wiggle the toes and the ankles. Circle out the ankles. Point and flex the feet. Maybe even close the eyes. Let's take the feet out wide. Hold the hands behind your knees or thighs. Bend the knees towards the armpits and shoulders. Happy baby pose. Adding in a gentle rocking. If you'd like to experiment with your happy baby pose, this can be fun. It can also be a little tricky. As you sway or rock to the right, take your left leg over a little more. And I'm using my right elbow. My hands are behind my legs. I'm using my right elbow down on the floor, crossing the left leg over. Taking both feet up, both knees in, rocking to the left. I have my left elbow on the floor and I'm just crossing that right leg over, straightening the right leg a little bit. So creating this playful rocking sensation to loosen up the low back and the hips. And it's really reminiscent of what the arms have experimented with a lot already. So we already moved our arms all over the place during our class. We're inviting the legs to explore those same sensations, just moving freely. Allow the movement to be inspired by the breath, inspiration from the inhalation. When you're ready, simply bring it to center, both knees together towards the chest, hugging that energy in by the abdomen and belly. From here, let's lower our feet. We can keep the toes touching and slowly begin to open the knees up into a reclining or sleeping butterfly. Let's place the hands on the belly. If you have some yoga props nearby, maybe some blankets or pillows, we could always take those props and put them underneath the knees or the thighs to give you a little more support. Having one large blanket or one large pillow can be really helpful here. From wherever you are, let's tune into the breath. This is where the whole practice began today. Hands by the belly and the heart to watch the breath. So in this practice of watching the breath, one of the most challenging parts in this sort of meditation is as soon as we watch something, we usually change it. And it could be on a conscious or subconscious level. So this meditation is about the art of observation. Can we watch without imposing any sort of judgment, without wanting to change it in some way? Can we simply just watch the breath? Sometimes it helps to visualize the breath in an effort to not change it. We might want to give it a little more character. So maybe imagine you're immersed in this lovely blue or white or gold light. It's a vaporescent energy, like floating in a cloud of light. And your body might actually be inspired by different colors. So any color at all. As you inhale, watch as the body draws that light in and feel it moving just wherever it goes. Have a sense of the life force. Have a sense of that light permeating different parts of the body, maybe all parts of the body. As we exhale, what part of the body releases the light? It could be the whole body all at once, releases the life force with a starburst effect. It could be that just one or two parts of the body release the light. Notice if you want to keep the hands where they are or take the hands out, palms up or down. Let's take at least a quiet minute to breathe in that breath, that light, and notice where it goes. At any time, if the legs or the body, the back feels uncomfortable, reposition yourself. Where do you suspect you could have the most comfort in these final moments of meditation? Let your body go there. Feel the life force as grace and compassion. This is where it all began today. As we open to receive the breath, we open to receive grace, to give ourselves grace from the universe, from a unifying source. If you practice a specific religion or have a specific spiritual belief, that grace can be called something else. It could be the experience of God. It could be the experience of love, the experience of forgiveness. What is the feeling of grace? Oftentimes we might want to put another word to it. We could open ourselves to the possibility of the experience of grace being completely apart from the spoken word, and instead feeling for it. We don't have to name it. We don't have to give it a word. So what is it to experience that feeling of grace, or that experience of some divine unifying source? That unifying source can be the energy of the earth, space and time to spirit. It could be mind to body. It could be breath to body. Allow that to be personal for you. Focus on the feeling. What does it feel like to feel this grace? Now, what does it feel like to extend compassion? What does it feel like to share your divinity, your transcendent self? If there's any resistance here, relax the muscles in your heart, relax your shoulders, relax your chest. This is an act of radical exposure, radical authenticity, to exhale and to share your grace and compassion. You may want to stay here a little longer in this practice. There is a phenomenon where as soon as we feel the class is over, the body relaxes for some reason. So stay here a little longer if you want, from wherever you are. As we are closing this practice today, you're welcome to put the hands close to your heart or even over your chest. Feel for that energy in the center of the chest, known as Anahata. Anahata. This literally translates to unstruck. This is where the embodiment of unconditional love exists in the physical body. So the soul itself, or that unifying energy that connects us to source, is in the center of the chest. Anahata. From here, let's draw in a deep unifying breath for closing. And let it go. I wish you all a day full of peace, that you are immersed in joy and continue to sense the embodiment of grace and compassion in this day. Namaste, everyone. Peace with us all.